Great, thank you.
You cannot see me, correct? Because for some reason I have a little video thing on my name.
Okay, thanks everyone for getting on early. We're just going to wait another couple of minutes to begin. Thanks everyone for joining. We're just going to wait another minute and we'll start at 1 o'clock. Okay, it's 1 o'clock, so we're going to begin. Thanks everyone for joining us today. My name is Janet Granger and your host on the Marine Ad Network's new webinar series. Today's webinar is titled Top 3 Marketing Secrets Learned from the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. So I'm excited to be here today with Melanie Kyle of Kyle Media. They are the owners of the Marine Ad Network, and the two of us will be tag teaming and presenting the webinar today. Before we get started, I want to take care of just a couple housekeeping items. Everyone's in silent mode, so if you have any questions, please use the chat box you see on your screen in the bottom right-hand corner. And we'll answer questions at the end of the presentation, so feel free to post your question anytime. If for some reason we don't address your question in the time that we have, we'll get back to you by email afterwards. And also, please let us know if you want someone to get back to you to talk one-on-one about anything that we talk about today. All right, second item, we will be sending out a link to the recording of this presentation afterwards, so no need to ask. People always ask, can I get a copy? Yes, we have your emails from when you registered. So we'll try to get this out to you as quickly as we can. And the third item is when you get that recording, please feel free to pass it along to anyone that you think might benefit from this information. We will be doing these webinars monthly starting in January again. We're taking off of the holidays, and we hope that you'll share the information and join us again. All right, so let's get started. We're talking about the top 3 marketing secrets learned from the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. I don't know if you were able to come to that show or if you have in the past, but Melanie and I did a quick look, and I'm happy to say that the first big secret is, of all the social channels, Instagram won. We looked at all the coverage on all the channels, and it's very clear, certainly as of this year, that Instagram is the darling, it's the winner. And I'm going to show you why in a few slides. The first slide is a comparison of posts that I saw on Facebook versus Instagram. On the left, you'll see the handle of the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. It's their account. They posted a great post on Facebook, and as you can see, there were about 157 interactions at the time. On the right-hand side, you'll see some screenshots I took from Instagram, and you can see the numbers are very different. This, FLIBS has also an Instagram handle or account, and you can see that the exact same image got 880 likes. So, 8 times the response rate. And then you can see also another post to the right of that by a dealer at the boat show. So, 1,000 likes as opposed to 157 tells me hands down, Instagram was certainly the winner here. In terms of another example, Instagram has something called stories, which is, it can be a video, it can be a combination of different still images cobbled together to create a video. It's a little bit new, but it's still part of Instagram. And again, that same official FLIBS handle made really good use of the Instagram stories feature, as did others. So just to take a look at this particular post, you'll see they posted this. They used their logo. If you look closely up on the skyline, it's a little hard to see because it's the same color, the blue and white, as the background on this particular shot. But, they did a really nice job of highlighting their exhibitors. And, if you spent the money to, move some vessels up or down or over for the show, there are, over 1,500 vessels there. It makes a big difference if the show coordinator is, highlighting that you were there. So, this really helps them highlight who their exhibitors are, basically give them as much exposure as possible, not just physical, but digital. I think it's a great way to sort of tip their hat to their exhibitors. And, it's a great use of their account because I'm sure, like everyone else, I was certainly following what they were doing. So Instagram won. That's sort of my summation of where we are. So what does that mean? Who cares? Why would we care that Instagram won? Well, basically, you can think about this for FLIBS next year, and you can think about this for other boat shows that are coming up. So the first thing that I would recommend, once you know this great secret, is I would recommend that you maximize your Instagram account. How can you do that? Well, Instagram is very, very visual. So I would take great shots. I would make sure that you have a folder of great shots, and I would make sure that you're doing that all year long. Make sure that you are managing your you have an Instagram account, you're managing it well, you get followers, and you give back to people who follow you. Instagram, like many other channels, isn't just a billboard. Lots of people that I work with, lots of companies think that it's sort of a big billboard. The way social media is different is you have to answer if people talk to you. They want it to be an interactive mode. So you have to be ready to answer people's questions, share other people's posts. If you look at the Instagram shot I took here on the left, you'll see that it's actually a repost from this account, Boats Gone Wild. And they got over 21,000 views. Again, that's a lot more than you were seeing on Facebook earlier. The other thing that you can do to maximize Instagram is make use of hashtags. Hashtags, or those pound signs if you're not using them, are really the way people navigate Instagram to find what they're looking for. FLIBS, hashtag FLIBS, was the hashtag of the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. So of course they were using that hashtag. Other people were using that hashtag. You'll see also the FLIBS 2018 hashtag was being used. On the right-hand side, you can see that when I took this screenshot, there were almost 22,000 posts that had been set up with the hashtag FLIBS. So if you were at the show or you couldn't make the show, you could look at those hashtags and see what you were missing or follow what was going on or seeing what other people were doing. If you were a visitor, you could see things that maybe you wanted to come visit at the show. So going forward, I'm going to recommend that you maximize your hashtag strategy, that you look into stories, creating stories. Stories come up as people are looking at the top line of their Instagram accounts, and you can see who's posted stories. So you sort of get a nice little headline there. And the other thing, of course, is you need to promote. I tell people now that if you're not going to put any money behind promoting your posts, you shouldn't even bother posting. The social media world is now pay to play, meaning you can't just put something out there and cross your fingers and hope someone's going to see it. You need to promote the posts that you want to get the most traffic. And one great way to do this is to just put it out there and see if people start to like it. And then you can start to, it's sort of like a horse race, right? You see which horses are doing well and you put your money behind those. So that would be one of the ways that you can maximize your Instagram going forward for upcoming boat shows. Another thing you can do is consider YouTube. Melanie is going to talk about this a little later. YouTube is all about videos, and they did a really good job. If you look at some of these videos that were about the boat show and at the boat show, thousands and thousands of views. This one, what it's like to go to the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, got over 7,000 views. Granted, it was a year ago, but clearly people not only were watching it last year, but if they were thinking about going to the boat show, they were looking at it this year. So I definitely recommend that you consider YouTube as a place to house your videos and to share from there. So that's my summary of the first great secret learned at FLIBS. So the next topic, number 2, is about videos. I'm gonna hand that over to Melanie.
Thanks so much, Janet. Thank you, everybody, for coming on today. My name is Melanie Kyle. I am one of the owners of the Marine Ad Network, and so I'm here today to talk a little bit about some of the things that I saw while I was actually at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show this year. The first thing, hands down, that caught my attention this year was videos. I scrolled through my social media accounts quite frequently while I was attending the show, and the one thing that always captured my attention was videos. So I'm going to share with you in a second a great example from SiriusXM Marine, the Marine Division. I'll show you a video that they used and then tell you a little bit about how they maximize that video to get booth traffic. And then in addition, I saw some fantastic videos from some companies like Blackfin Boats. If you guys were at the boat show and saw that video, they did a fantastic job showcasing their boat models at the show. That video was made specifically for attendees of the show, and I got to tell you, over and over, it caught my attention. So kudos to them for doing a good job. One thing that I just want to emphasize is that it doesn't have to cost a lot of money to make a video. Every time I tell our clients you really need to use video, people are always very hesitant. Oh, it's going to cost me a fortune. It's not in my budget. It's just not going to happen. Videos are very easy to create now. They might not be as sophisticated as the one I'm going to show you from Sirius or from Blackfin, but you can put pictures together to make a video clip. Anything that's interactive and is going to garner their attention is worthwhile doing. So again, we can kind of tell you some places you can go to get video created. We can assist you in that route. So don't be afraid of putting together videos. So really quick, I just want to show you this video because I think it's important to see it. Oops, excuse me. There we go.
Whether you're heading out for a pleasure cruise or a big-time fishing tournament, you need SiriusXM Marine. Experienced boaters know that having the right equipment on board is essential for a successful trip. And nothing is more essential than knowing the conditions around you. That's where SiriusXM Marine can make a difference, displaying the most up-to-date weather overlays on your charts relative to your boat's location. Adding SiriusXM Marine weather and entertainment is easy. Get the compatible hardware for your chart plotter, then subscribe at SiriusXM.com/marine.
Okay, so there's the video. I'm going to go back here to the presentation. So bear with me 1 second. One thing though that I want to make you guys aware of, when you looked at this video was something that Sirius uses at multiple shows. But the one thing they did is they added this bar at the bottom that was simply an overlay. And this overlay talked about the boat show and what booth number they were at. And so it's something that they can repeatedly use, and it's something that is just very simple to update for each event that they're going to. The next slide I want to show you is just the difference in click-through rates between just a standard static image and a video embedded in Facebook. So this particular one is Facebook. So their static image, as you can see here, got a click-through rate of 0.27%. So it's okay. It's a decent click-through rate, not fantastic. However, if you look at the video, their click-through rate was 1.10%, which is phenomenal. So this just really speaks to everyone here and letting you know that definitely video is the way to go in terms of getting more interaction onto your website. So that's my second topic today was videos. And the last thing I really want to talk about is retargeting. And again, all of you guys that have talked to us at the Marine Ad Network, or probably even with Janet, know that I repeatedly am saying that retargeting is the answer to geofencing boat shows or marketing at boat shows. So the reason why we want to retarget after the show is people are going to the boat show. They're scrolling through their phones. They're seeing your websites. They're seeing your social media posts, and they're clicking on them probably. But then they walk 2 feet and they get distracted by another beautiful boat model sitting in front of them. But what happens is at that point, you've captured their attention, and we've also dropped a pixel onto their device so we can target to them after the show. So our goal really is to get as many people that have somewhat of an interest in your product, because if they're going to take the time to click on your ad during a boat show, they're somewhat interested in your product. And so we want to capture as many of those people as we can during that show. And then what we want to do is we want to retarget to them after the show. Let me move to the next slide here. So again, really quick, most of you know how this works. A person clicks on the ad, and then the person sees the ad again later. I'm sure everybody has noticed this. They go to Gap clothing and they click on a sweater, and you're seeing sweater ads for the next month. So it's basically the same setup, only we're going to be a little bit more specific here. We're going to do retargeting just for the people that went to the show. So just for the people that clicked on an ad at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show. So then as soon as the attendee lands on your website, again, we're going to drop that retargeting pixel. I don't want you guys to be scared by the word pixel. It does not need to scare you. We can easily, I know some of you are probably saying, gosh, I don't have access to my website, or I have a lot of dealers use Yacht World, for example. I have a Yacht World site and it's not easy to put code into. Don't worry, we have you covered. We can easily help you set up retargeting without placing any code by using a simple tracking link. So at that point, we've dropped our pixel. And then they go home. All right. So they're done with the boat show. They get home, they're drinking their cup of coffee, looking at the morning news, and bam, there's your ad again. Only this time they're in a much more comfortable situation and they have time to go back and look. And guys, I have to tell you, this is where the magic happens right here. If I could tell you one thing, this is where the magic happens. They are going to go back, and if they're really interested in your product, they're going to go back and they're going to view that again. once they click on the ad and return back to your website, that's really where we want the conversion to happen. And that may be a purchase for those of you that have accessories and products. For those boat manufacturers or boat dealers, it's obviously not going to be a purchase, but we can get a form submit so we can find out their name and email address and phone number. And so those are the kind of things that we want to happen. And so once that happens, you now have a customer that you can market to where you have all of their information and the information you need to go about marketing to those people in the future. So again, I can't stress enough. If you're going to a boat show, even if you don't utilize a service like geofencing, even if you're just doing your own Facebook marketing or your own Instagram marketing, set up retargeting for after the show. And so that was my final slide. And we are now going to open it up for questions. I'll turn it over to Janet to kind of finish things up.
Thanks, Melanie. So Melanie and I have worked really hard on this to try to distill this down to, our 3 big secrets. And we wanted to do it in a short amount of time. So feel free to ask questions you like of us. I've already gotten a couple here. One is you talked about retargeting and how important it is. When can you start and how long should it go on after a boat show?
Right. Okay, good question. Thank you. So I was going to speak on this and I didn't. So we typically start boat show retargeting a couple days after the event. We typically don't do it right then because they're probably still at the event. So we start a couple days after the show ends, and we usually only run it for a couple weeks. We feel that if we run it for a couple weeks and they still haven't clicked on the ad to come back and visit, then they're probably not a viable customer and don't really need to waste any more of your budget. So 2 days and 2 weeks to answer your question.
Great, thank you. We've got another question here, which I hope that, again, sorry to keep throwing this back in your lap, but someone asked, what platform are you doing the retargeting on? I think what they mean is it on social media? Is it on websites? Is it a particular website? Can you talk about how the retargeting is done?
Sure. So retargeting is any website they visit. However, we do turn off any adult sites. We typically turn off gaming sites, dating sites, things like that. So if they're on CNN, they're on the weather app, any kind of app or website, we will retarget to them. In addition, we can set up to also do retargeting on social media. That is one extra step, and that unfortunately does require us to place a piece of code on your website, which we can help with. But if you want to advertise as well or retarget on social media, we can absolutely do that. And we do that for a lot of clients.
Cool. So the questions are coming in now, fast and furious. So one person said, the Sirius video was awesome, awesomely expensive too. So you inferred that you don't need to spend a fortune. How can you expand on this? Well, I think we can actually probably both talk a little bit to this, but feel free to reach out to us afterwards if you like. There are so many different programs out there. There's apps you can get on your phone. There's apps you can get to edit on your laptop if you have a laptop. I think, I don't know if Melanie mentioned this or not, but and you can even string together, as you do in Instagram stories, just different stills and put music in the background. I've actually created videos myself that way with either free software or something like Animoto that you can pay, I want to say $10 or $20 a month to use. There are lots of different programs out there where you don't have to spend a fortune. I also have a client who did a great thing. There was someone who did drone videos and who offered him videos and was looking to get exposure for his video business, creating videos with drones. So there was a great relationship that was started by someone locally who did this fabulous video of their marina. And then they could, the marina used the video of the drone footage. And so it was sort of a win-win for everybody. Melanie, is there something you want to add here in terms of, how
Sure.
you've done video?
Yep. A great place to go, and I send a lot of people is to freelancer.com. And freelancer, you can go in and you can, if you only have $50, you can place $50 on a project, and you provide the raw video footage, and they kind of put it together for you in a regular video that you could use at a boat show. So very easy, very cost effective. Sometimes there's a little bit of a language barrier because unfortunately what I'm talking about is primarily people that are overseas. But it is an inexpensive option and they're more than willing and happy to help you out there. So that's freelancer.com.
Those are just some of the tips. So questions about Instagram versus Facebook. Is there a difference in the value of a like on the different platforms? Is one more likely to convert than another? So I know this is going to sound like heresy, but Adam, here's the bottom line. Likes aren't worth anything. I mean, likes are great, make you feel good, pat on the back, likes, followers, shares, going viral. At the end of the day, what I tell my clients is if you haven't that person to your website so they can do something there, the likes really don't mean anything. They're what we use, well, we now call sort of vanity metrics. They're all about you and how well you did. But as a marketer, it's not about me, it's about my client. So the reason I say that Instagram is the winner and people should start using Instagram seriously now is you can use Instagram to drive people to your website. You can drive them to your door. You can drive them into your store if you have one. But if you don't have a call to action to get people to do something, then all it is a lot of time that you're engaging with and retaining customers and keeping people interested. So that's sort of, I'll get off my soapbox about that. And I think we have time for a couple more questions. Bill, yes, I had mentioned geofencing recently. And so Melanie, can you just speak to sort of tying together geofencing and retargeting?
Yes.
Or is geofencing?
Yep, absolutely. So they're two different products, but they work hand in hand. So when we go in and we geofence a boat show, we're putting a digital perimeter or virtual perimeter around the boat show. And so we're infiltrating that digital virtual circle with ads for your company because we know everybody that's attending the show is a potential client. And then at that point, our goal is to get them to click on your website. Like Janet said, likes are awesome and we want them to like it, which means that they're stopping to interact with your product. But ultimately, we want them to visit your website. If we can get them to visit your website during the show, then that's when the retargeting kicks in. So it really goes hand in hand. We have to get the geofencing package, and we are not even, you don't have to do geofencing or your own marketing, but you want them to get to your website. Ultimate goal is click to your website. At that point, that's when the retargeting will kick in and we can retarget to all those people that clicked on your website from the show. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I think that delineates it really nicely. Thank you for that. All right, so I think we have time for last question. How do I plan in advance to do social media for a boat show? Yeah, so I did mention that. The bottom line is it's really about a strategy so that whatever channel you're using, all of them are sending the same messages. So, you have to decide what you want strategy to be for that show. Do you have a booth? Do you want people to go to your booth? As you saw in the video, or if you don't have a booth, do you want people to go to your website? Is there an offer maybe at the show on your website? The whole point is you have to have a marketing strategy before the show even begins, and hopefully a few weeks before that, and that will ensure that you're maximizing your time and maximizing all your channels. That includes emails and newsletters you send out before or afterwards, the channels themselves, such as Instagram. You'll come up with a hashtag plan, an image plan, what to send before, during the show. what the messaging will be, and if this seems overwhelming, I can help you with this. That's something that I can do. Okay, so I just, thank you for coming. We know that your time is valuable, and we're at the end of getting the end of our 30 minutes, so I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that you'll join us again for our next webinar in January. And we'll be talking then about why your Google AdWords campaign isn't working as effectively as it could. Are you spending money on AdWords and display ads? And if so, how many leads are you getting, or how much traffic are you getting to your site? In the meantime, if you'd like some better results from your marketing or just an overall marketing strategy so that you can get more people coming to your business or your website, feel free to reach out to me at janetgranger.com. I can help even if you don't know where to begin. So thanks so much. Thank you, Melanie. This has been great, and we look forward to seeing you in January.